Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly. We're kind of in studio. You can see some of our trinkets behind us here in the spare bedroom, although there's actually a bed in here. And so we're going to talk a little bit more today about comps, the dark side. I don't know, it's just an excuse to take a picture in the dark. But yeah, we're going to kind of go a little bit more advanced on the comp thing for a few minutes here, part of the show. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about some stuff that's going to be going on with the channel over the next few weeks, over the next few months. Some fun stuff we're doing and some fun stuff that's going to be on the horizon, certainly in the year to come. So, and they're kind of connected. So we'll get to that sort of at the end of the show. So those of you who really just want the facts and figures today, we can talk about that a little bit more. Doing a pretty informal show today. Not going to do a bunch of edits unless I say something incredibly stupid. I mean, more stupid than usual. The comp show had a lot of good feedback, and it typically does because it provides a lot of good information. But and appreciate certainly those folks. The Slot Gypsies were great about sharing some of their experiences in terms of even coin in and some of the things they got. And so we certainly appreciate them sharing some of their personal comp experiences. And the consensus these days, I will say, and it's my personal experience as well, is that we've seen an uptick in comps, generally speaking, for the low to mid rollers with MGM rewards, and probably kind of a decline with Caesars rewards over the past couple of years. So, and I don't know how much that's due to them really just trying to cultivate some new customers, and how much of that is just the fact that they have become a little bit more generous. I do think to myself that MGM does have a very large inventory of, shall we say, budget to mid-range rooms. When you look at properties like Luxor and Excalibur, that's a lot of rooms to fill on a daily basis, certainly midweek, certainly during slow times. So, perhaps not unreasonable that they would start to try, in this case, to offer some of those rooms at a steep discount or complimentary to some folks that they know are going to be playing. And that's certainly been my experience. I can go on MGM Rewards at this point and get 3-4 day comps usually 4 for Luxor and Excalibur, but also pretty good comps at places like New York, MGM Grand, even Park MGM, which has had a number of remodels. So they do have a large room inventory, and I do speculate that that's probably why we've seen some improvements there. And Caesars, the decline, I guess you might say, Caesars has always been kind of seen as an easy mark. Just put in a little bit of play here and there, and you'll probably get Flamingo free midweek, which, you get what you pay for to some degree. But any case, that's kind of my theory on that. And, if anybody else has any feedback on that, please do let me know. I was going to talk a little bit more, and I may touch on that today. We'll see how the rest of the show goes, about some of the other larger Players Club's programs in Las Vegas. And I guess I'll go ahead and just talk about some of those and the casino resorts that they include. And I'll talk about the one that I've had the most experience with, and that's the Boyd Rewards Be Connected. I'm not really sure what they're going by these days, and I should have checked it before I got on here. But as many of you know, I've had a lot of experience staying at Boyd properties over the years, particularly the Orleans, which is, I think I've stayed there, 16, 17 times? Somebody correct me if they're an expert at that. But I've also stayed at the Gold Coast and Fremont downtown, Cal, Main Street Station. So I've stayed at a lot of their properties and gambled a lot at their properties over the years. They also have the Sam's Town way out on Boulder Highway, which is kind of a fun property. I'll have to do a midweek feature on that because I really like Sam's Town, but don't get out there very much. And then the Suncoast, which is way up in Summerlin. So, any of your play at those properties is going to all go into the same basket. Typically, they have you sort of select a favorite casino, and you tend to get better offers there, or those offers tend to be displayed when you sign into your account. Also, you have downtown, now you have the One Club, which is the D, Golden Gate, and Circa. That's all one basket as well. I mentioned that a little bit when we were talking about downtown a few weeks ago. And then station casinos. I talked about Palace Station on the show just a couple of days ago. And, that group, which includes Boulder Station, Sunset Station, Santa Fe Station, and the Red Rock and Green Valley Resorts as well. So that's all in one bucket, you might say. So basically, if you're playing at one, you're playing at all. Now, I will say that with some of the off-strip casinos, particularly I would say station casinos, they're known to be a little bit stingy with rooms, but they give away a lot of other sort of comps. And so, it kind of depends on the property, but a place like Palace Station, Green Valley, and Red Rock, they have quite a large room inventory, so they're probably going to be a decent possibility, but you're going to need to give them a pretty good amount of play. What I wanted to talk about a little bit here today is tiers, and not the tears that I cry when I have to come back from Las Vegas and go to work, but the tier levels that most players clubs now have. And most people are probably most familiar with the Caesars rewards or the MGM rewards cards, and they each have different tier levels depending upon the amount of play that you've given that casino within a particular 12-month period a year. I think they both end at the end of January now, so they have kind of a fiscal year that's different than the calendar year. And depending upon the number of tier points you earn, you get slotted at a different level. And depending upon your level, you get a lot of goodies. Probably the best goodie of all is available at the gold level for MGM Rewards and the diamond level at Caesars Rewards. And that gets you waived resort fees. So even if you have to pay for the room, you won't have to pay for the resort fees. You spend, say, 10 nights a year in Las Vegas, that's a perk worth $400, $500 if you're staying at those properties. So a very good perk. Also, you typically get some additional discounts if you buy things at the gift shop. You may get an extended period of time to redeem your comps. You may get to cut the line. I know at Caesars there's usually a diamond registration area. And so while there may be 50 people in line at Harrah's trying to check in during the normal check-in process, you can cut into the Diamond Lounge, and you're typically in and out of there in 5 minutes. So a big savings in time and potentially a nice bonus in terms of money. The thing is, of course, you're talking about running tens of thousands of dollars through the machine. Sometimes there'll be multipliers. Tier credit multipliers are not as common as reward credits. Reward credits were what we were talking about last week when they talk about the points that you earn that you can redeem for comps. Tier credits, you don't get multipliers as often. So it's pretty hard to get to the level that you need to get to in order to get some of those perks. But I do want to talk briefly, and then we'll wrap up the comp discussion for a while anyway, about tier matching. And tier matching has been a huge win for me this past year. I don't know that I'm going to be able to carry it over into 2023, but I know people have using various tricks. But a lot of the Las Vegas players cards have basically an arrangement with large hotel chains. So in the case of Caesars, they are connected to the Wyndham Rewards program. You can book rooms at these Caesars properties through Wyndham. And you can even transfer credits that you've earned at Wyndham to Caesars, and you can transfer your tier status. Now, Wyndham is typically lower end, kind of highway properties. They do have some upscale properties, but it's places like Days Inn and Travelodge. So not the most upscale spots, but if you spend a lot of time on the road as a business traveler or just for leisure travel, and you earn a status with one of those hotel chains, you can transfer that status over to your Caesars card. So I was able to do that this past year and match my diamond status with Wyndham to diamond status with Caesars. Now, I was fortunate enough that at the same time, MGM Rewards was matching gold status there to diamond status at Caesars. So I was able to get not only the diamond level at Caesars, but then tier match to the gold level at MGM. And again, that meant no resort fees. So I think I had maybe 15 nights in Las Vegas between March and September. Pretty much all of them, except maybe one, was at either MGM or Caesars property. So again, you can, 14 times $40 or $50, you can see the savings there. MGM has a relationship with the Marriott chain of hotels. So if you have status with Marriott, you may be able to match that over to the same status at MGM. If it's a high enough status, you may be able to get MGM Gold, which again is where you start saving on the resort fees. So, and again, if you really are interested in it, there's I think a website guy called The Points Guy that talks a lot about tier matching. And it seems to me like we probably jumped the shark on tier matching, and we're not going to see quite as lucrative offers out there because people have learned to really take advantage of that. And I know I did this past year. So, but that's something to look at as well if you play a lot, keeping an eye on your tier status, because it can really make your casino trips a lot better. I'm not sure when my next casino trip is. Things have been really in flux around here. As you can see, we do have a few of our Vegas trinkets behind us here, as I mentioned earlier. So we do have some things going on. We will, over the next few weeks, get the rest of my junk moved in and probably get a more or less permanent location for these broadcasts. Wanted to let you know, and I've been talking about this since, really, I think I mentioned it in the spring and summer, we did bring back the Vegas Tips and Tricks store. I will put a link to it in the show notes below if you want to check it out. We basically have 4 t-shirts in there right now that I've designed, or, well, I can't say there was a lot of design. One of them's kind of involved a little bit of design. But take a look at that if you're interested. I also posted, along with that, a discount code that'll save you 25% off your order. So if you do check that out and you decide you want to get something, make sure you use that discount code. Also, if you are a member of the channel, if you're interested in that, you can hit that join button, tell you all about it. I think I think the low end is like $1.99, $2.99 a month. Certainly helps us out. If you're interested in that, members get those items basically at cost. I will have to add in shipping and handling. So if you're a member and you see something on that site that you want to get a hold of, let me know and I'll get you a code so that you can basically get it at cost. So that's a great deal. I'm looking over the next few months, 6 to 8 weeks basically, at once again doing a fancy show. And this time a real fancy show. We're looking at upgrading the equipment we use around here, the computers. We're going to make some investments in the channel. It's time to take it to the next level, you might say. It's time to keep on including cliches in this broadcast. But yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at that over the next 6 to 8 weeks, and coming into 2023, we should be coming in with a upgraded look and feel. It's time to grow the channel and make some improvements there, and so we're going to invest in some things. We talked about it in the summer, but really, despite my best efforts, we really just did not have the technology at our fingertips that made it worthwhile, but we will be getting that. We'll explain more about that later. So that was one of the reasons also to bring back the store. Anything we earn off the store will, of course, go towards investing in the channel. This would be technically the week we would do our end of the month live stream this Wednesday. We will be carrying that over at least 1 week, maybe beyond that. We'll keep you up to date on that in upcoming shows, but expect an improved live stream experience. The last couple have been really, the video quality has been terrible, and that should improve again pretty dramatically. With some of the changes, some of the improvements we'll be making here over the next 6 to 8 weeks. So I hope we'll look out for that going forward. Again, we'll be doing a little more video editing on the computer, and again, should be an improved experience for all of you, and looking forward to sharing some of that improved quality of video and audio and such, while continuing to provide great information for you about Las Vegas. So we're running a little bit over today. That's fine. We will be back next week. We will somehow get a show in on Tuesday and Thursday, even though it's going to be a very busy week around here. Those 2-minute shows don't take too long to put together, so we'll make sure we get those out. We'll be back again next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly. Until then, I hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see y'all again real soon. Bye-bye.